Welcome to the Crazy Hat Chemist. So today, the second video in bonding and molecular structure. So let's get started. Bam! Today we're going to be talking about electronegativity. It's kind of electronegativity revisited. Notice the symbol for electronegativity. We've actually already talked about electronegativity when we talked about periodic trends. Okay? All right. So electronegativity measures the relative strength with which atoms attract valence electrons in a chemical bond. It's an arbitrary scale from 0 to 4. Fluorine is assigned the largest value of 4.0, or depending on the periodic table, 3.98, which means that fluorine will draw electrons towards itself when bonded to another element, thus forming a charge separation. Okay, cesium or cesium, depending on where you're from, is assigned the smallest value of either 0.7 or 0.8, which means that the cesium does not like electrons. Remember, cesium is a metal, it's going to give up electrons readily, okay, to a more electronegative element, more than likely forming an ionic bond since it's a metal. Okay? The trend in electronegativity is that the values of electronegativity themselves increase in going up a group, and they increase in going across a period from the left to the right. Okay? Electronegativity was conceived by Linus Pauling. That's why the Pauling scale of electronegativities. He's the only person to have received 2 unshared Nobel Prizes. One in chemistry, one in peace. Unshared, like unshared electrons. Huh, pretty cool. Okay, so here are some Pauling scale of electronegativity values, just a selection of some of them that I wrote down here, and I'm going to point out some of them that you really need to be familiar with. You need to be familiar with the trends for this entire unit and relative values of them. Okay, so the first one I'm going to point out is fluorine, and it has the highest electronegativity value, and you should see that below fluorine the values decrease. That is, as you go up a group, they increase. And to the left of fluorine, the values decrease. Again, as you go to the right, they increase. So they're all increasing towards fluorine. It's the greatest electronegativity, arbitrarily assigned as a 4.0 on the scale, just like the best GPA, the 4.0 GPA, right? And then there's oxygen, which is the second most electronegative element that you have there at 3.5. Okay, and then there's 2 that share the third and fourth position at the same time, and that's nitrogen and chlorine have these 3.0 value, a nice B average. Okay, then right below that, 2 more elements share the next 2 spaces combined, and that's carbon and sulfur. Okay, now there are other elements that have similar electronegativity values, but these are the ones that are really going to play a role, especially carbon and sulfur. Okay, so if you have a bond between carbon and sulfur, do you have a difference in electronegativity? No, that's a pure covalent bond, and this is going to be a nonpolar molecule provided that it is symmetrical. Okay, I'm going to point out a couple more here for you. The other one is hydrogen. Notice that hydrogen is 2.1. You just need to keep that in your mind of 2.1 because it really doesn't belong there on the periodic table from all the other locations. It's kind of like right in the middle of the periodic table where hydrogen belongs as far as its electronegativity. It's very large for the group 1 that it is in. Then I'm going to point out another one here, and that's cesium, of course, the lowest one. So from these values, and you should be able to get the trends. And that trend, one of those trends, is as you go up a group, then the electronegativity increases. As you go to the right from the left, then the electronegativity increases. Again, towards the fluorine. The fluorine is the most electronegative element there is. Hopefully that works for you. Okay, here's a chemistry comeback line for you. I'm going to put on my hat for this one because it requires a hat. Why the electronegativity, man? So, the next video here, look for that. Give me a thumbs up if you like that video. Give me a thumbs up if you like that joke. Okay? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye now.